Hello everyone, my name is Ellis Johnson and welcome back to the True North Network where I bring to you your Thursday night preview. We got week 8 in the books right now, so let's talk about the Ravens and the Buccaneers because that's what we got going on. Now last week, we finally had touchdowns on Thursday. Finally had touchdowns on Thursday. I was so excited I couldn't believe it, except all my picks were wrong. But that doesn't matter. So we finally had a touchdowns on Thursday, and all it took was sleeping pills on the New Orleans Saints defense because they couldn't stop anything. I'm talking Eno Benjamin, who we had a solid start. He went off all day long. Hopkins was catching balls left, right, and center everywhere he could go. Now, we got a good one this week, so let's leave last week in the past. And here you are with your Thursday night preview. Now, to start, let's talk about injuries. We have a couple injuries, all knee-related somehow. J.K. Dobbins, with that knee surgery that he had to calm down the inflammation of the knee. So he's out for sure. We know that one. Mark Andrews, he's struggling with a knee issue right now too. We're hoping he's back, and if he's on the field, we'll get into that. But still, down week last week. Hope he's okay. Should be good to go this week, we're thinking. Also, Julio Jones, also knee injury, should be back on the field this week as well. Just like that, we're into the must-starts of fantasy football for week 8, Thursday night. Now, first and foremost, let's make this easy. Lamar Jackson, he's a star. We know this for sure. He's in a slump right now, though. He hasn't been playing too hot. But the thing is he also hasn't had his top pass catcher, wide receiver, in Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews has been a bit dinged up too. But Lamar, we know he's a star. We know he can run. And last week we saw P.J. Walker, XL superstar, put up some points against this Bucs defense. Lamar's going to do the same. Not worried at all. You're firing it up as a high-end QB1 with that rushing ability. Next up, we got Mark Andrews. As we mentioned before, you got to be aware of his injury situation. But if he's on the field, you're plugging and playing him 100%. I'm talking if he only played the first 3 weeks of the season, and then mind you, there's a 7-point fantasy week in there, but if there's 3 weeks of the season, he would still be the tight end 8 on the season right now. That's where Dallas Goedert is. If he only played 3 weeks, he's that good. He's incredible. You're starting him regardless. He just has to be on the field. So make sure he's on the field and you start him if he is, because he is incredible. Just like that, we're on to our Tampa Bay Buccaneers side. Leonard Fournette has been as rock steady as it can get. He's been catching passes. He's been rushing. He's been getting touchdowns. He's been there for Brady when he needs them. I don't know in his personal life, but I wouldn't be surprised if Fournette's also there, helping him sleep at night, because he is everything for this offense. He's been catching so many passes, and it's what we saw last year. He is what you want in a rock-solid RB1. Now, Baltimore is solid against the run, so not the best matchup, but when you get this kind of usage on an offense that should be great, you got to play him. Speaking of should be great, should be touchdowns. Mike Evans, absolute muffin right into the oven mitts. Through the cracks, down onto the floor, no bueno. He had a touchdown, walk-in touchdown. Couldn't catch it. Turned the whole game upside down right on the first drive. Now, this week, though, where do you think he's going to turn around? Because I'm calling for the pie shop to be open, Mike Evans. Let's actually catch that muffin, because that's what we're hoping for. Now, Mike Evans, though, even without the touchdown, he still had like 90 yards, and he had 15 targets. He's an absolute star at the position. So you're playing him. He's great. And I think this could turn into a shootout, helping you even more for Mike Evans managers. Now, I compared this guy to a lighthouse, because this Buccaneers ship is an absolute mess. It's lost in the fog, and there's one lighthouse sitting off in the distance chilling. It's Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's been great. I'm talking 4 weeks now. He has had double-digit targets in 3 of the 4, and he has 6 receptions in all 4. He's exactly what this team needs to get going. He is a safety blanket. Him and Fournette are probably actually on both sides of the bed helping Brady sleep at night, because he is so supportive for this team, and he's going to find the end zone someday. And hopefully that day is Thursday, because he could very well have a monster game. It's just a matter of time. Could be this week against a beat-up Baltimore secondary. Now, that's all of our must-starts. And you might be wondering, well, where's the GOAT? Well, here he is. Solid start. Number 1 and only one, Tom Brady. Hasn't been great for fantasy, but still slides in as the QB 11. What's great here is he is the 3rd most passing attempts, and he has the 6th most passing yards. So for fantasy, the metrics are there. He's passing a lot, and he's getting the yards. Just needs to bump up those touchdown numbers, right? Those are rookie numbers right now. We got to bump them up a little bit, Wolf of Wall Street style. So Tom Brady, this secondary is allowing the 8th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Awesome news. He should be able to feast. You're starting him for sure as that low-end QB1, not looking back at all. Now, flex considerations. And when you talk about flexing, you got to talk about Gus Edwards and those massive biceps of his, because he returned and he put on a clinic last week. 2 touchdowns, 60-some yards. He's doing very well considering his first game back. And the best part, Drake went like 5 carries for 11 yards, something like that. It was absolute garbage is all it was, is what I'm trying to say. Drake was garbage. Justice Hill is good. He's exciting, but he's not a lead guy. Gus Edwards is the main back on this team, and he is back. Now, I hope he sticks around because he actually took the full rest period, unlike his counterpart, J.K. Dobbins, which means he should be good to go. This is a tough matchup, not making him a great start, but definitely a flex RB3 option this week. Now, the other flex start we got is Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman, he has shown his importance by not being there. With him absent the last few weeks, Lamar has struggled in the passing game. Now, he does have Andrews, but the thing is he doesn't have that top receiver. Bateman's it. He's been sketchy for fantasy as he hasn't really been very consistent, but this game, I'm predicting a shootout. I think Bateman's going to get the targets. I'm plugging him in. Risky, I'm in flexing him, though. So he's a solid play when it comes to flex considerations, WR3 level guys. Now, for sitting, Russell Gage, let's make this simple, all right? He's only had 1 game with more than 6 fantasy points, and unless you're in a league that prides 2 catches for 20 yards, he's not your guy. Get him out of your lineup. I wouldn't even be rostering him. Cade Otton, exciting young rookie tight end. He's actually been doing quite well. He had 81% snaps last week. He had 64 yards last week. He's looking great, but in a game where we got Evan Ingram's, Irv Smith sitting on the wire in some places, Logan Thomas, if he comes back, I'd rather play all 3 of those guys over Cade Otton. I don't trust him this week. Last but not least, we have Devin Duvernay. With Bateman back, he's not going to be a focal part of this offense. He can always break a big play, making him a great DFS, big play option, but I don't want to trust him in average fantasy leagues. And my honorable sit mentions are Julio Jones and Isaiah Likely. Likely sneaky if Andrew decides to sit, but other than that, you can't play him. And just like that, there's your fantasy breakdown. So it's time for Ellis's picks. And for Ellis's picks, I got a treat for you. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready.
Now, I will be the first to admit, we've been cold on these picks. So what better way to warm up than fantasy by the fireside? Here we are bringing a new twist to the Ellis's picks. We've got to warm up somehow. This is the best way I can think of. So let's break down picks for the Tampa Bay Ravens game this Thursday. Now, for the 3rd consecutive week, we have a line that's 1.5 points or less. It's a 1.5 point road favorite Ravens this week. Now, it's not making it easy for us, and we haven't been doing too hot, so let's get into this one. Now, this one I think is actually a little bit easier to predict, especially on the over-under side. It's only set on a modest 45.5 points. I think this is going over all day long. Give me the over. These 2 offenses both need to get right, and the defenses have been playing great. They should do it. Give me the over for sure. Now, when it comes to the spread, it's a little bit trickier, as the Bucs have looked that bad. But hey, there's someone who needs to turn it around, and I get it hasn't looked this way this year. It's Tom Brady, and he should respond on prime time. I think they'll be able to exploit the Ravens secondary, and the fact that the Ravens haven't played a full 60 minutes of good football means that I think the Bucs will game plan their way and squeak off a win this week. So give me the Bucs, give me the over. I got Mike Evans getting in the end zone. I'm feeling it. I'm warming up. We're here. You're there. I'll catch you here next week when we get the Eagles taking on the Texans. Have yourself a great week and enjoy your football.
My pretty baby kissed another. Stop my dad up on my feet.